the theme today is bugs and butterflies. And so I chose these two butterflies, these ones. And I did what I did last week. One of them I did the butterfly and the other one I did the background. And I used saran wrap and crayon on the background. And it came out sort of like this. It doesn't have a butterfly yet. The butterfly is just sketched.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, I did the butterfly with no background.
So how do you put a background in?
I put a background now.
You're going to show us how. Yay.
Yeah, right. Because I've discovered you can do all kinds of stuff with this. And I did the saran wrap thing because these nature photographs, even though these are pretty much in focus completely, there's still, you can have a fuzzy background because the world is fuzzy when you focus on the thing. On this one, I put the flowers in with crayon. You see the crayon?
Mm-hmm.
The flowers? Because I really liked. Pardon?
How do you tell it it's crayon?
I'm telling you it's crayon.
But how do I tell?
Well,
Besides,
the ones that are defined and not just a mush of color are all crayon.
okay.
And the
Okay.
ones, and then I put a mush of color on top of it.
Okay.
What do you mean by that?
I mean by that I made these different flowers.
Is that watercolor on top
with
of it?
crayon, and then I put watercolor on top of
Okay,
it.
that's what, yeah. That's
And
what,
then I
okay.
put saran wrap on top of that. And then I let it dry, pretty much dry. It's not completely dry. Pretty much
When you
dry.
put this saran wrap on though, do you take it off after, right?
Yeah, it's off now. No
Okay.
saran wrap. And what we'll do is we'll make a background on this one. And I don't know whether you can see it. See the veins?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Those are
Ooh.
scratches.
Oh, okay.
When I saw the butterfly on the, in the photograph, I said, oh, those really fine, dark lines, we could do those with scratches. And a lot of the rest of it, I used a lot of goop. And then I did a lot of gooping, and then I did scratches, and then I did light brown, and then I did the blue, and then I did sort of the other colors, and then I did more brown. So that's how that worked. And I'm glad that I'm doing the black and blue one now because it doesn't need so many colors. Colors are more in the background and the butterfly is the contrast. So I think I will start with, I'll put on goop, and that by then things should dry. And if not, we'll do the background of the brown butterfly. And by then this will be dry, and we'll put this aside and we'll paint that one, and then we'll see how this comes out. So you'll get to see how the saran wrap works, Nancy.
okay, thanks.
Okay, so what did I just say? We're going to start with goop. And I'm using blue goop because you can see it better. The other thing that I used, I told you I used crayon. And one of the places I use crayon on the brown one, and you can't see it yet, is these whites. See the whites on the butterfly?
Yeah.
So I'm doing white crayon on those whites around the edge. And that will act like a resist, hopefully. I had ordered these nice big white crayons, just like yours, Lynn.
Ah, Yes.
for last week. And they said they were going to come on Wednesday. And of course, Thursday came and there were no crayons. So now I have a nice big white crayon,
And it's Crayola.
and it's a Crayola crayon. So now goop. I have a goop brush. And it's a really small brush. I probably didn't need such a small brush. And this is a dish soap. Not this dish detergent for the dishwasher, but hand washing soap. And that's that. And now the goop, if I can open it. And I'm going to put on my glasses, not have it interfere with my microphone, and do these blue bits. The top blue bits, I'm going to, this goop.
Yeah, it gets nasty, doesn't it, on top?
Yeah, gets nasty on top. Yeah, that's why I have this top. I had this little tiny lid there. Ha! Fie on you, blue goop. All right. So that's these blues along here. I gooped all of the colors on the brown butterfly. It took a long time. So I was glad that I decided to do the blue one for this, because the gooping just took too long. All right. Yes, that's right. I think I'm doing this wrong.
So couldn't you have done that with crayon too instead of goop?
I could have, but the problem is I want the goop, I want to get back to paper. And the crayon doesn't let you get back to paper.
Yeah.
It stays crayon.
You can't
So,
You can't control the color at all.
right.
Right.
Unless the crayon is the color that you want. And I was showing Lynn before people came. People have been putting stuff in the tip jar, for which I thank people who've done that. And I bought myself a present. I bought a present of metallic pencils, metallic watercolor pencils. And actually these would be perfect for this, but I'm not going to use it because I'm not supposed to teach things that people don't have, but I'm going to play with them later. So now there's just these dots. Dots, 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 dots. And I don't think those are necessary. These ones, I don't think those are necessary. I think I can just take off for that. You know, in other words, pull off. Okay, so this is gooped. And now so here's my butterfly, and I'll make some, I already have made some white flowers that you can't see, but I will make some more, and I will make one or two bluish ones way up at the corner, like it's another bush, so that you can see me do them. And the way I do 5-pointed flowers is I draw a star, and then I make the petals, because I have a hard time doing 5s. I can do 4 petal flowers pretty well, but my 5 petal flowers are always very uneven.
Didn't you say that all flowers have an odd number of petals?
Yeah,
I think that's right.
there are some 4 petal flowers, but not many. I think they're very rare. and 5s are hard. It's just like 5 fingers or 5 toes on an animal. Apparently the genetic instruction is you have a thing and then you say divide in 2 and it goes like this. And then it says divide in 2 again and it goes like this. Then it says divide in 2 again and you get that. And so that's probably the same thing with petals. Now, I've had people, my friend Joyce, object that the flower, that she objected that she likes flower petals to be uneven. And I said, well, I have never been able to draw an exactly even star. So they are uneven. But there you go. And I'll put a white one too. And I can't really see that. What, Sally?
I just did some checking out, and there's lots of plants with 4 petals.
Yeah, good.
Hmm.
I knew there were some.
Yeah, no, lots. Interestingly, more than I thought.
But if you look in a botanical garden, try and find one.
Oh, I work in one. I'll
You
have
really
a look.
won't. You really won't.
All the verbenas do.
Well,
apparently.
there you go.
I'll find you one.
And
John.
what are they in ordinary English?
I only know verbena.
Okay. Okay, so I've got a bunch of petals, a bunch of flowers. And now I'm going to do my saran wrap thing. And it's basically going to be green and maybe just, I'm on this one, am I? And then maybe some brown in the corner, but I don't want much brown because the butterfly's got a lot of brown. Look, I cleaned my paint box. Aren't you proud of me?
Wow. Zach, we're not going to be able to find you.
Yes, I know. I will make some brown, burnt sienna. And some blue, because before it gets to gray, it will be brown. See, it's brown. Now, if I wanted it to be a darker brown, I would put more burnt sienna.
I'm seeing purple.
You're seeing purple here?
Yeah.
Purple?
That's what I see.
That's what you see.
Oh, maybe it's my computer. This is not a high-end computer, so
Uh,
shouldn't expect too much, I guess.
well, there's my richer brown, if you will.
Well, that's getting towards, yeah.
Okay. Maybe a little more burnt sienna. There we go. And greens. Oh, I shouldn't have used that one because now I have to put my green over here. And because I don't think anything is that color in the world, I'm going to add some black on one end. And then maybe I'll take some, I should have done this differently. And I will add some yellow. Good. Hey, Virginia.
Hello, how are you folks?
I'm good. I'm good. Marilyn is here too. We have wonderful
Yippee, that's great.
old friends. And we have
Indeed,
wonderful new friends.
indeed.
I don't think Sally knows Marilyn. I don't think there was ever an overlap there.
No, I don't think there was, but it's new
I
friends are
hope there
always
will
good.
be one day. Maybe we'll all get together at Randall.
Yes, someday. Someday. Oh, okay.
And I apologize for being late.
That's okay. As long as you come. It never
Thank you.
matters that people are late. I mean, it's their problem if they're late. Okay,
Paint Zoom does not have a vice principal.
right. We don't. So now I'm slobbering on green, the green with black. And see, now you can see where my white flowers are.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
And what
Ooh.
did you do to get them to show up? I know you used something for masking, but I miss it. Oh, yes. Okay. White crayon. Gotcha.
Well, except not the pink and the blue. I used
Well,
pink and blue
that's
crayon. And we'll put some brown. That's not very dark. We'll put some black on it. I don't want to get too near the butterfly with that color. I want to stay with the greens near the butterfly. And hopefully I have put white along the edges. And there's some more flowers.
Oh,
Ooh,
my.
cool.
Magic.
My magic flowers. And I've forgotten where I put them. So it's a surprise for me too. And now let's go straight to some yellow. And some even brighter yellow. Yes, yes, my favorite gamboge. Slobber it all together. Be sure it doesn't get too dry. Up here has gotten dry. Problem with this is it really makes your water filthy because you're just slobbering it on.
It's okay.
It's okay. I have an extra water.
As long as Virginia says it's okay, you know.
Yeah, if
Ooh,
Virginia said
The
it's okay,
pressure,
it's
the pressure.
okay, so now I have gotten so clever. I have put saran wrap on my acrylic stuff. Am I to use just one? Let's see if I can just use one. I have two. And because they're leaves, they just have to be crinkly. But the big deal is not to have them crinkle before you put it on, because then you can't ever get it back. Plastic wrap is one of those things. It's so delightful and it's so awful because it sticks to the things you don't want it to stick to, and it doesn't stick where you want it to. So the care and management, this looks like a giraffe.
What looks like it?
The way the pattern of the saran wrap is going.
Oh, yes. So it does.
And we've discovered that you can, if you don't like it, you can change it later. You can do it again. So now that gets put away and we see if the goop is dry. So it's pretty dry. Now the thing I did, and you can do this with a credit card, but I am doing it with this because it's easier to hold. But you can do it with a credit card. And I'm going to wet my paper, not with that little tiny brush, with something, not with that great big brush. Don't I have a medium brush? Yeah, this brush. That's not very big, but because I have found I get deeper scratches with wet paper. I'll do one side at a time. Did I miss that one? I missed that one section. So that's half a butterfly. So now I just have to follow my lines.
What are you using there? What is that?
This, I believe that this is a clay tool.
Okay.
I don't actually know what it is. I went to Artisan Craftsman and I explained what I wanted. I wanted a scratching tool that I could scratch paper. And I was actually at that point looking for this kind of thing, the parallel end. See that end.
Yeah.
And so the guy came out he came up with this. I brought it home and I realized this, I could kill someone with this.
Truly.
It was
Like a-
incredibly sharp.
Yeah.
And so I took a file and filed it down because if you went anywhere near paper with it the way it was originally, it just shred the paper. So I filed it down and I filed this end down as well because it was way too sharp. So that's why I think it was for clay, you know, something that's less delicate than watercolor paper. And it has turned out to be very nice. And when I do a lot of scratches, I like using it because you can hold it like a pencil. And the credit card works just as well. It's not a matter of working. It's just that it's, you know, it's little. It's little. You know, I mean, you can still do it. It's the same. It does the same thing to the paper, but it's harder to manipulate
Yeah.
for arthritic old ladies.
Well, when you become one, you can tell us all about it.
I already have a fake hip.
Ew. Okay. Never mind.
Never
Only one?
mind. Only one.
Well, when you become one, you can tell us all about it.
I already have a fake hip.
Ew. Okay. Never mind.
Never
Only one?
mind. Only one. Yeah, and I have a feeling I broke my ankle. Oh, 1995.
Uh,
And I think that, you know, when you do something like that, you tend to favor it.
mhm.
And you tend to favor it long after
You need
could have
to.
stopped.
Yeah.
And I think that changed the way I used my hip
Mm.
and made it not as good. And so arthritis hits there. And arthritis does hit where you have old
Vulnerability.
injuries.
Yeah.
But I didn't have an injury in my hip. I had it in my ankle.
Mm.
But now it's my hip's as good as new. I mean, my ankle's good as my hip is as good as new. But arthritis. Arthur. Okay, so now I'm going to do the other side. Wet this down. Oh, it's a little bit green, which is okay because it's going to be black. That's a little wet. It's a little too wet. Don't want it soppy.
Back.
There we go. In doing all these things, I began to think about how is it that butterflies are formed? And I think it's just like I talked about earlier with the 2 and then 2 and then 2, that you can sort of see how each little section is similar, but not quite, you know, as if this one would develop into something as big as this if it had enough space. And then these little dots over here would be blue ones, but they don't have, you know, in other words, they only get so far. They only need to get so far. I don't know if I'm making any sense. Doesn't matter. Okay, I think I have all of my scratches. Maybe not. I find I can feel them better than I can see them. And if I have them double, it's okay.
So Elin, is the saran wrap still on there?
No,
Oh,
this is all dry now.
okay.
But it's the same thing that I did. See the little flowers? These were the crayon flowers.
Okay.
And then I put watercolor on top of it. And then I put saran wrap on top of it.
Okay.
and then I let it dry. And then you get the pattern. You get this sort of random sort of pattern. And you can do them so that they're sort of where you want them to be if you're careful with the saran wrap, you know. You can make them like when we were doing saran wrap to make oceans, we pleated it sort of to make waves. But on this, it's just leaf looking. So, okay, I'm going to say that I've got it all done, and I hope I have. And now, and black. Okay, put it all over the entire butterfly. Now you can see where the scratches are coming up. This is too big a brush. Now I've put crayon. Oops, that was a real glitch right there. And now the other side. Nope, not enough. Although in some ways, when I don't put as much paint on, you can see the scratches better. You see the scratches?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to take a smaller brush. Not a real small one, but a smaller brush.
What size is that brush?
This one, this is a 14. It's still
Ah,
pretty big.
Yeah.
This one's a 16.
Uh-huh.
And what else do I have here? A 12. So I've got all these big brushes actually thinking about the saran wrap portion
Uh-huh.
more than this portion. And then I have really tiny brushes because in the brown butterfly,
Mm-hmm.
I use very small brushes, not
Gotcha.
realizing that this one is so black. It's so much the same color that you can use a big brush, but I could have used a smaller big brush, like an 8.
Yeah.
Would probably be nice. And he's got his head and his shoulders. They call him head and shoulders with a butterfly. I don't know. I mean, they call him his head. But I don't know whether you call that the shoulder. This one's a little sharper too.
Mm-hmm.
This one's a little sharper too.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my basic butterfly. I think I can use some more black on this side. Okay. Now, this is very interesting right in here because it's blue and black sort of blended. Where's his body? Is that working? Sort of working. I think it needs to be. This is a dry brush. let's do the same thing on the other side. So at least they'll match even if they're not right.
What is the weight of the paper you're using?
It's our regular paper
Oh, okay.
that we use I try not to use anything that we didn't use at Randall.
Gotcha.
Um,
That makes sense.
that's why I only showed you my fancy metallic paper pencils.
Aha.
I don't use my fancy metallic pencils, although I think they'd be perfect for butterflies because especially like this blue, these iridescent blues
Mhm.
would be very nice with metallic
Yes,
pencil.
indeed.
But it's just our regular paper.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So I've got his blueness now up at this end. He's sort of pinkish on the other ends. Is that clean? Yeah. Let's take clean water and do the same thing. Whoa, that's really fat. And because the other color is black, I'm not worried too much about pulling the black off because I can always put more black back.
Right.
Okay. This goes all the way around to there. Is that Jonathan? No, I guess not. I thought it sounded like him. Okay. What else do we have? Maybe some dashes. Here, let's go to a small brush. Some dashes of pink that are a little heavier. Because when you first look at this particular butterfly, you say, it's all black. And then you begin to look at it some more and you say, oh no, it isn't really. It's got these other things in it. And I think I'm going to do that with the blue too. And this blue sort of fades almost to white. In the brown butterfly, I actually used white. Ah! Shocking. I know you're shocked.
Indeed.
Okay. See here, the crayon is working at the edge of the wing. That's really dark. Okay. Some real dark here. In between the pink and the blue, shading a bit, hopefully, shading it a bit. Your computer is really complaining at you there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now a little bit more black and pink through there. First pink. And then black. And this actually has some greenish blue, doesn't it? Clean tissue. Oh, getting near the end of the box. I think we actually use Maryland's blue here, or blue-green, because it's supposed to be a blue-green. Yeah. Yes, I sent Marilyn a thing about blue.
Yes, that was a great read.
Yeah. When Chris sent it to me, I instantly thought of you.
Oh,
I said, oh, Marilyn needs to know about this. That's a little greener than the other one's a little bluer. Come on, let's get this together here. Okay. So now put some black on top of that. Thin black. Because the thing about all this is that they're black. It's just shades in the black, which is both interesting and fun. Okay, I'm calling him time for him to go on the couch. Oops. I'm wiping out my white. It's because I'm using a dirty brush. Okay, he goes on the couch because I can't pull off the goop until he's dry. And we'll look at how this goes. Okay, are you dry enough? Probably not. I'm gonna pull it off anyway. And we'll see how it looks.
Ooh,
There we go.
very
Not
nice.
bad, not bad.
that's amazing. Doesn't seem like it would dry with the plastic wrap on top of it.
It doesn't dry as quickly.
Okay.
And the problem is you can't put a fan on it because it doesn't do any good. We have an under the area rug heater
Oh.
in the living room.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because I get terrible cold feet and I don't want to wear shoes.
Okay.
I've spent so much of my life not wearing shoes. And now that I'm older and get cold feet, I don't want to all of a sudden spend my day in a shoe. So I lay them on the carpet, on the area rug when they've got saran wrap on them, and it speeds it up. And this is not, it's not dry. You know, it should be drier. But that's what it is. I'm not excited by the colored ones. I like the white ones better,
Gotcha.
but I wanted you to see how they were made. Maybe I'll scratch at them and get rid of it.
Remarkable.
can see some stuff that still needs to be done, but that's always true. It goes on the couch. This one, you're going to have to wait till next week. There we go. I'm beginning to figure out where up and down and back and forth are on this, but not really well. Fun class.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bonsoir.
Thank you.
Bonsoir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
A bientôt.
Good night.
Good Nacht. Auf Wiedersehen.
Next
Tschüss.
Later, guys.
Oh, there you go.